Room 47. St. Mary's Hospital had a secret no one talked about. Room 47. It didn't appear on any floor plan. No patient was ever admitted there. But the nurses whispered. They said the door was always unlocked at night. The call bell ringing, even though the room was empty. Dr. Mira Hayes scoffed at ghost stories. Working the night shift alone, she found herself drawn to that locked-off wing. The power flickered. The halls felt colder than usual. At 2:13 a.m. her monitor beeped. Room 47's call bell was ringing. She checked the nurse's station log. No patients assigned. The room wasn't even on the system. Curiosity won. She walked down the empty corridor. The door to room 47 was cracked open. Inside, the air was thick, like something was waiting. The bed was empty, but the heart monitor beeped steadily. Mira stepped inside. Her phone buzzed with a text. Unknown number, help me. Her breath caught. The lights flickered. From the PA system came a soft lullaby, children's voices humming in harmony. Myra's skin crawled. She pulled back the bedsheets. Nothing. But the mattress dipped under her touch, like someone invisible was lying there. She glanced up. Behind her, a reflection in the window, pale, blurred figure. She spun. Empty hallway. The whispers started. Mira. Mira. She ran. The next day, she asked the head nurse. No room 47 exists, she said quietly. No fire, no patients. But sometimes, at night, the hospital remembers. That night, the call bell rang again. And room 47 waited. The room that listens. At first, it was just a rumor. Room B6 in the sub-basement of the conservatory was soundproof, perfectly soundproof. No echo. No resonance. No bleed. It didn't even have a doorknob on the inside. When Simon, a doctoral student in composition, got special access for a thesis project, he thought it was a gift. A space to work undisturbed, no distractions, no noise from the outside world. No audience. Exactly what he needed. The room was small. No windows. The walls were lined with soft gray foam that seemed to move slightly, like it was breathing. In the center, a digital upright piano, dusty but tuned. The first time he played in there, he felt, watched. Not in the typical, haunted, sense. Just noticed. As if the room itself remembered the melody. When he returned the next day, the piano played back the first few notes of the piece he'd written. But he hadn't recorded anything. And the piano wasn't powered on. He wrote it off. Maybe it was a strange echo. Maybe he'd left the pedal pressed. Maybe he was just tired. But it kept happening. Every session, the room remembered more. Not just his music, but his voice. His breathing, his whispered frustrations. The sound of his footsteps. The way his fingers trembled when he messed up. And it didn't just repeat the sounds, it rearranged them, like it was composing something new. Something unnatural. One night, he heard a full orchestral version of his piece coming from behind the walls. Notes he hadn't written. Harmonies that twisted in on themselves. There was breathing under the strings. Crying in the percussion. Whispers in the silence. And he understood something terrifying, the room was composing him. It had taken his sound, his voice, his work, his very presence, and was weaving it into something else. Something alive. Simon tried to stop going. But the music followed him. Played through speakers that weren't plugged in. Echoed in his headphones even when muted. Hummed from the radiators. Always distorted. Always evolving. One night, he woke to find sheet music scattered across his apartment floor. Pages and pages. Not his handwriting. At the top of each one, Sonata for One. Movement I, Birth. Movement 2, dissection. Movement 3, silence. He tried going back to the room to destroy it, but room B6 wasn't there anymore. Just a blank wall. Concrete. Cold. No door. No hinges. And from the wall, faint and familiar, a soft melody, composed of his screams. Underneath the noise. Mara began hearing it 3 days after moving into the apartment, a low hum, constant and distant, like an air conditioning unit that never turned off. At first, she thought it was just city noise. But the building was quiet, the walls thick. Her neighbors said they didn't hear a thing. She bought earplugs. They didn't help. The hum followed her from room to room. Never louder, never fainter, just there, pressing behind her eyes, under her thoughts. She recorded silence on her phone and listened back. Nothing. Then came the dreams. In them, she was buried beneath endless concrete. No air. No light. Only that hum, vibrating through her bones, like something huge was moving just above her. Waiting. She stopped sleeping. The building manager told her to get checked out. Stress can do strange things, he said. Her doctor agreed. Sleep deprivation, auditory hallucination. But Mara knew it wasn't in her head. The hum was real. And it was getting closer. One night, she noticed the furniture shaking. Just slightly. A tremble, like a subway train under the floor. But the building had no basement. No tunnels nearby. She placed a glass of water on the kitchen table. The surface rippled every few seconds, time to the hum. Like a heartbeat. A presence. She stopped leaving the apartment. Her phone wouldn't hold a charge. Lights flickered. Her reflection began lagging by a second in the mirror. Then 2. Then it smiled when she didn't. She called her mother, crying. "You moved into 3B, her mother asked after a long pause. "That's the unit your uncle had before he went missing." Mara never knew she had an uncle. When she confronted the building manager, he wouldn't meet her eyes. "Some apartments just remember people longer than they should," he said. That night, she ripped up the carpet. Beneath it, concrete etched with deep grooves, circles, symbols, like a massive speaker embedded in the floor. The hum was no longer distant. It spoke now. Not in words, but thoughts not her own. It knew her name. It showed her things in flashes, other tenants, past lives, people in the walls still screaming without mouths. She tried to leave. The hallway stretched. She opened the door to escape and found herself back in her living room. And the hum said, "You've heard me now. You're part of the signal." The next morning, the apartment was quiet. Empty. Except for her phone, recording by itself, on the floor. Static, and underneath it, faint and steady, a hum.